Let him spend his birthday alone. My mom laughed. We're not wasting money on that. Thanks for being honest, I said. That's the last cent you'll ever get from me. Then I emptied the bank account, blocked them all, and watched from my balcony as they started freaking out. My name's Ryan. I'm the oldest in the family, the one they all depended on to fix things, take control, and keep everything running. And for a long time, I did just that, not because they made me, not because they begged, though they definitely begged plenty. I did it because I thought if I kept helping, if I kept giving, maybe they'd finally see me, not as an ATM or backup plan, but as real family. Looking back, I don't know why I ever believed that. My parents weren't loudly cruel, they didn't yell, hit, or break stuff. Their selfishness was quiet, it showed in how they just assumed I'd always help, without even asking. To them, my role was simple, be the provider. My younger siblings caught on early. If they needed money, a ride, or help fixing something, they came to me, and I always said yes. I told myself it was just for now, that once they were more stable, they'd finally appreciate me. But that day never came. There was always another reason, another bill, another problem. I was their solution. To make it easier, I set up a shared bank account, that way they didn't have to ask, they could just take what they needed. I thought it would show them how much I cared, that I was helping them because I wanted to, not out of guilt. But it didn't make any difference. Then came my birthday. Growing up, my birthdays were never special, just normal days. There was always an excuse, no money, someone was sick, something else more important. Still, I always hoped one year would be different. So this year, I kept it simple. I booked a nice restaurant, told everyone in advance, and even offered to pay for everything. I didn't ask for gifts, just one dinner, one night together. Their responses? Cold. We'll think about it, my mom said. We're broke this week, my dad added. I doubt I'll be free, my brother said. And my sister didn't even look up from her phone. I didn't argue, I just smiled like it didn't hurt. 2 days before my birthday, my cousin called. Hey, I don't know if I should tell you this, he said. What's going on? I asked. I was at your parents' house yesterday, they were planning a trip. A trip? Yeah, just the two of them, water slides, hot tub, fancy hotel. My stomach sank. Are you sure? I asked if you were going. Your mom laughed and said, let him have his birthday alone, we're not wasting money on that. I didn't speak for a moment. They told me not to say anything, he added, but that's messed up. I let out a long breath. Oddly, I wasn't even angry, I just saw things clearly for the first time. I'd been giving everything, hoping they'd finally treat me like I mattered. But when it was their turn to do something for me, I didn't matter at all. I laughed, not out of spite, but because I finally understood. Thanks for telling me, I said quietly, then hung up. I logged into the shared bank account. I emptied it, every last dollar. 3 days later, everything exploded. The morning after my birthday, my phone blew up with calls and messages. I expected some drama, but not this fast. Missed calls, mom, dad, brother, sister. Then the messages. Mom, Ryan, call me now. Dad, where's the money? Mom again, did you drain the account? Brother, what the hell, man? Sister, seriously, what is wrong with you? I didn't respond, I ignored them all. I was still in bed, a little tired from the night before. Surprisingly, my birthday had been great. My cousin and a few real friends came to the restaurant, we talked, we laughed, we ate good food. No fakeness, no drama. For once, my birthday actually felt like mine. Then my phone rang again. I sighed and picked up. It was my mom. Ryan, what did you do? Nice to hear from you too, I said, yawning. Don't mess with the shared account, where's the money? I laughed. Oh, that? I shut it down. Silence. Then I heard her gasp. You had no right, she snapped, that money was for all of us. For everyone? I said, you mean like the vacation you and Dad planned, without me? She paused, I could hear her breathing. Who told you that? I laughed, does it matter? Ryan, we were going to tell you, she started, she stopped, she had no excuse. We needed a break, you don't know how stressful things have been. You're right, I said, I don't, because I've spent years giving, hoping one day you'd give something back, but the one time it's my turn, you leave me out. That's not fair, she said quickly, you're overreacting, we were going to celebrate after the trip. Oh, were you bringing me a keychain? Ryan, stop, this isn't funny. And treating your kid like a walking ATM for years, that's funny to you? She tried to answer again, but I ended the call. For the first time in years, I felt calm. About 20 minutes later, there was loud knocking at my door. Still groggy, I got up and looked through the peephole. It was my dad. I opened the door a crack. "Why are you here?" He pushed it open and stormed in. "Where's the money, Ryan?" I stepped back. "You're serious?" "Dead serious," he said. "We need that money." I crossed my arms. "Oh yeah? For the vacation? For the hot tub?" His face turned red. "That was our money." I raised an eyebrow. "Funny, I don't remember you ever putting anything into it." He clenched his jaw. "You'd better fix this, right now." I gave a small laugh. "Or what?" He didn't say anything, just stared at me like he thought I'd give in, like I always used to, but not this time. I looked him straight in the eyes. "Get out of my house, Dad." He pointed at me. "This isn't over." "I know," I said, "that's the best part." He turned and slammed the door so hard the walls shook. I locked it behind him and sat down. My heart was pounding. Then my phone rang again, an unknown number. I hesitated, then picked up. "Hello?" A serious voice replied. "Hello, Ryan. This is Officer Reynolds from the town police. We need to talk about a complaint from your parents about missing money." I almost laughed. They were actually this desperate. I stayed quiet for a second, smiling a little. "A theft complaint?" That was a new low. "The officer said my parents claimed I stole money from a family account and wanted to discuss it." I kept calm. I told him the account was mine. I opened it, put money in it, and closed it. No one else ever added anything, so nothing was stolen. If they wanted to push it, they could, but it would be a waste. He paused, then admitted my parents hadn't given any proof. He even sounded a bit embarrassed to be calling me. He said without real evidence, the case would go nowhere. I thanked him and ended the call. Not long after, my phone lit up again, my brother, then my sister, then my mom. I didn't answer. By noon, the messages changed. At first, they were angry. I was called selfish, cold, ungrateful. My sister sent a long rant blaming me for breaking up the family. My brother said I was making a big deal out of just a vacation. My dad didn't text, just kept calling over and over. Then came the guilt trips. Suddenly my mom acted hurt. She said she was heartbroken, that she didn't raise me to be this way, that she couldn't believe I'd walk away from family. She made it sound like they were the victims, like I hadn't paid their bills for years, like I hadn't tried everything just to feel seen and appreciated. I didn't say a word. Then my cousin called again. He sounded uneasy. "My parents are mad, but your parents are furious. They're calling everyone in the family, twisting the story, making you look like the bad guy, saying you stole from them and disappeared when they needed you." The worst part? Some people believed it. He warned me more calls and messages were coming. Then he added, "They're still going on the vacation." I actually laughed. After all the drama and even calling the cops, they were still going. But that wasn't the end. The next day, I got a text from a number I didn't know. It was a screenshot of a hotel booking under my name. My parents had used my credit card to pay for their trip. I stared at it, feeling sick. My name, my card, my money. Somehow, they'd gotten access. Then I remembered, I gave them one of my credit cards years ago for emergencies. They must have saved the info. I opened my banking app. There it was, a pending charge, not just for a regular room, 2 premium suites at a luxury resort. This wasn't just wrong, it was illegal. I called the bank right away. They were helpful. They blocked the payment and sent me a new card. I asked where the booking was. Not far, just a few hours away at a fancy hotel. I held the phone, thinking. This wasn't just them leaning on me, this was identity theft. So I acted. I called the hotel, explained everything, and sent proof. The staff were polite but clear, no one could stay there using a stolen card. The booking was cancelled immediately. But I wasn't done. I called my cousin. "Want to go for a drive?" I asked. An hour later, we were on the road. I didn't tell him everything, just enough for him to get the picture. He laughed and agreed. He always thought they took advantage of me, but even he was shocked this time. We got there in the late afternoon. I walked into the hotel lobby and spoke to the front desk. "Did the guests under this name check in?" The woman nodded slowly. "They showed up earlier, but there was a problem." She told me they caused a huge scene when the booking was cancelled. They yelled, begged, tried using other cards, but none worked. I felt a wave of satisfaction. "Where are they now?" I asked. She smiled politely. "They left, not looking very happy." I turned to my cousin. "Let's get a room." And we did, at the exact hotel they wanted to stay at. But this time, it was paid for honestly, by me, for me. That night, we sat by the spa, drinks in hand, watching the sunset. No stress, no guilt, just peace. I knew the fight wasn't over, but for the first time in a long time, I wasn't scared. The next morning, my phone was flooded with messages, just like I expected. Mom, what did you do? Dad, you're an ungrateful brat, fix this. Brother, are you serious? You just left her? Sister, you're such a total jerk. I sipped my coffee and scrolled through the chaos while sitting on the balcony. My cousin was still asleep, but I had a feeling the day was just getting started. Then another message came in, from my mom. Mom, we're on our way to find you. I raised an eyebrow. That was a surprise. I thought they'd sit at home and sulk, but no, they were coming for me. I had two choices, leave and avoid the scene, or stay and face them. I stayed. 2 hours later, I was relaxing by the pool when I saw them, my whole family, walking toward me like an angry army. People at the hotel turned to look. What's wrong with you? My dad yelled. You left us with nowhere to stay. I pulled down my sunglasses. Didn't you bring your own car? You canceled our hotel, my mom shouted. We had nowhere to sleep. I shrugged. Not my problem. My brother stared like I was a stranger. You really don't see how messed up this is? I set down my drink and sat up. Oh, I see exactly how messed up it is. You used my card to plan a vacation without telling me, then blamed me when it all fell apart. My sister crossed her arms. We figured you'd act like a normal person. I laughed. Normal? Like forgetting my birthday or treating me like an ATM all these years? My dad's face turned red. You don't treat family like this. I stood up. I was done pretending. Family isn't about taking and taking, only showing up when the money's flowing. I gave you so many chances to treat me like a real person. You never did. They didn't say anything. My mom looked shocked. My dad muttered something. Then they all turned and walked away. No sorry. No owning up. Just anger because I wasn't letting them walk over me anymore. As I watched them leave, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time, freedom. I expected my mom to turn back with one last guilt trip, but she didn't. Maybe even she knew it wouldn't work anymore. My cousin came over and handed me a fresh drink. He had watched from a distance, letting me handle it. That wasn't so bad, he said with a smirk. I let out a breath. You think that went well? They're gone, aren't they? I didn't answer right away. Yeah, they're gone, but for how long? I keep thinking another round of calls or texts is coming. More guilt, more drama. But something strange happened. Nothing came. A few hours passed, then a whole day, then another. Silence. No calls, no fake emergencies, no lies to pull me back in. At first, it felt weird. I had been so used to being needed, to being used, that the quiet felt wrong. I kept checking my phone out of habit, waiting for something, but nothing came. By the third day, my cousin looked at me. You okay? You seem off. Off how? Like you're waiting for your phone to ring. I looked at the phone, then put it down. Maybe I am. Do you want them to call? I didn't know. Part of me felt light, finally free, but another part couldn't help but feel hurt. They were still my family, and it hurt that they let me go so easily. My cousin saw the doubt on my face and said, Be real with yourself. When you weren't giving them money, what did they ever give you? I said, nothing. Exactly. They only came around when they wanted something. Do you think that'll change? I swallowed. They're still my parents. You're still their kid. Didn't stop them from using you like a credit card. It was hard to admit, but he was right. If they truly cared, they would have apologized. They would have reached out for real, but they hadn't, because without money, I wasn't useful anymore. That truth stung. I ran my hand through my hair. So what do I do now? He shrugged. Move on. Trust me, it'll be the best thing you've ever done. I stared at the water, letting it sink in. I had spent years giving everything I had, thinking one day they'd finally see me, appreciate me, but love can't be bought, and if someone only cares when you're giving, they never really cared at all. I took a sip of my drink and felt a calm I hadn't felt in ages. Yeah, I said quietly, you're right. And in that moment, I let her go. The next few months were strange at first. I'd been the fixer for so long that the silence felt unfamiliar, but over time, I realized it wasn't emptiness, it was peace. No more panic calls, no more guilt, no more watching my account drain just to avoid a fight. For once, I kept what I earned, my time, my money, my life, finally mine. And just like I thought, my parents never called. No, I'm sorry, no reaching out, nothing. Their silence proved everything. I was only worth what I could give them. Then one day, my cousin called. You're not gonna believe this, he said, cracking up. What happened now? Your parents got scammed, hard. What? Yeah, they sent 10 grand to some fake investor. The guy promised to double their money if they sent some up front. I blinked. You're kidding. Nope, they didn't even have 10 grand, they took out a loan. I sat down, shocked. So they could send 10 grand to a random scammer, but wouldn't even chip in for my birthday dinner? Exactly. I shook my head, part stunned, part amused. After all the guilt tripping and controlling, they gave a fortune to a stranger online. Karma had arrived. Do they know they got played? Oh yeah, they're freaking out, called the bank and everything, but since they chose to send it, the bank can't help, now they're in debt. I laughed, a real, deep laugh. After everything they did to squeeze me dry, they got fooled by a scam. Karma's free, my cousin said. Bet they wish they still had your money. No doubt. He paused. You thinking of reaching out? I thought for a second, then smiled. Nope,